Hello everyone, welcome to CLAT Funda. CLAT Funda is an initiative by Institute of Law, Nirma University to help you through CLAT 2020. Hope you are staying safe at your places and working hard for your exam. This is the fourth video of Logical Reasoning series from CLAT Funda. In our previous video, we discussed general tips, how to manage time, how you should revise things, how you should practice, sticking to questions. So we discussed general tips on logical reasoning and two specific topics, that was statement and assertion and encoding and decoding. Yes. In today's video, I'll discuss syllogisms and seating arrangements. So two topics today I'll discuss, that is dialogues and seating arrangements. Dialogues come under reasoning section and is a very important topic which is frequently asked. They generally contain two or more statements, and these statements are then followed by a number of conclusions. Okay, so there are two statements or maybe three statements, and these statements are followed by conclusions. We have to tell which conclusion goes with the statements. So to solve these questions, a widely used approach is Venn diagram approach. So today, through that approach, that is Venn diagram approach, I will explain you some basic points for this topic, and then I'll explain you how to solve these questions. So yes, so first I'll discuss types of questions. See, dialogue is important because it has come almost every year, and it improves your marks because here you don't have to learn anything, you just should know the trick to solve the question, and everything is on your paper. So today I'll discuss some types of questions which are there in dialogue. So I'll begin from first type, that is all A are B. So this phrase simply means that A is contained in B. See, you can see the Venn diagram on the screen. There is a A which is inside B. So this means that all that is A is definitely B. A is the subset of B. Okay? The Venn diagram for this shows that there is B other than A as well, but there is no A which is not B. So we have to find out the conclusions applying this logic. Conclusions, we get that some B are A. As Venn diagram shows, there is some part of B which is A. The other conclusion, we get that some A are B. Yes? So some A are B. Since all A are B, so definitely some A are B. So this is one type of question. I will explain you with an example. Suppose the question says, all cats are animals. Conclusion, we get all cats are animals means some animals are cats. Okay, since all cats are animals, so some animals are cats. Since all A are B, so some B is A. Yes? The second conclusion, we get that some cats are animals. Some animals are cats and some cats are animals. So if we get a statement like all A are B, then we get the conclusion some A are B and some B are A. Moving on to the next type of question. A is equals to B. In this case, the conclusion is similar to the first type, that is all A are B. Okay? Here not only all A are B, but all B are also A. In the previous question, all B are A was not true. But in this case, all B are A is also true. So here you see there are no two diagrams, there is only one diagram because A is equals to B, so entire A is equals to entire B. So there is only a one circle, one diagram. Yes. So conclusions which we get from this kind of question is all A's are B's, all B's are A, some A's are B's, some B are A. Since all B are A, so some will always be. Okay. Now I'll explain you this with an example. So suppose A is rose and B is red. So conclusion we get is all roses are red and all reds are roses. Okay, now I move to the third type. A is not equal to B. Okay, or it can also be said as no A is B. So here we see two different Venn diagrams which are not connected, which are not touching each other at any end or at any edge or at any point, because we have to show that A and B are absolutely not related. A is not equal to B. The conclusion is that no B is A and no A is B. If I give an example, it will be, suppose no aliens are animals. Now conclusion we get is no animals are aliens and no aliens are animals. Okay, so they are entirely different. Moving on to the fourth pattern. So here two things, some A are B and some A are not B. So there are two different categories. First I'll discuss some A are B. I've done this together because we get the same diagram when we go for some A are B and some A are not B. So this is an overlapping Venn diagram where there is a portion in between where a part of A and a part of B overlap. That means they are same. Now when this question comes that some A are B and some A are not B, this is a possibility case. When I say some A are B, we know that it can be that all A are B. Okay? We know that it can be all B are A. Yes? So there are many possibilities in such questions. When I say some A are not B, it also means that no A is B. Okay? Also no B is A. So this is a possibility which comes in such questions. In this type of question, first element is that you pay attention that you have to make a minimalistic Venn diagram. When I say some A are B, minimum overlapping I have to see. So I will have to show that some A are definitely B. Okay? I'll explain you with an example. Suppose I say some rats are cats. Okay? Some rats are cats. Now what we can say that is all rats are cats, all cats are rats, all cats are rats, but all rats are not cats. Yes? Because we are talking about some, so we don't know anything about all. So in such cases we have to be very careful because the probability is high. Okay, now moving to some A are not B. In this type of questions, first element is having some part which is not common with the second element. Now, the possibility is it can be some part which is not common or it can be whole of it not being common. But then if we read some A are B, we only assume that some part is not common. So the pattern of the Venn diagram will remain same here. Because, see, in this Venn diagram, at least some part is common, but there is some part not common. So this is the Venn diagram when we talk about such questions of sum. I'll give you an example of some A are not B. So some rats are not cats. Conclusion we get from the above pattern will be some rats are cats, all rats are not cats, all cats are not rats, all rats are not cats, and all cats are not rats. So these are the conclusions we get. Now I'll tell you some general rules which apply in questions of dialogue. They are very important. When there are two statements or three statements and all the statements are all, this will imply all. So if I say all roses are red and all reds are roses, that means all reds will be roses and all roses will be red. Some roses will be red and some reds will be roses. So all, this implies everything. All plus no will imply no. All plus some will imply no conclusion. Because when you're talking about all, you're talking about some, there comes a possibility case, a probability case. Some plus all will imply some plus no will imply some not, some plus some will imply no conclusion. Okay? So these are the general rules. Now the most important possibility cases which we need to follow, there are some rules for the most important possibility cases, because generally we are not possibility cases because they are more confusing. So if the case is all A are B, then some B are not A is a possibility, as I have discussed. If some B are not A, then all A are B is a possibility, because some B are not A. So all A are B also, some B are not A. If some A are not B, then all A are B is a possibility, and all B are A is also a possibility. So these are the possibility cases which generally come when we talk about sum. Now I will be telling you some general tips which apply overall in this section of Silo. So the tricks are: go through all statements one by one. Understand how you need to draw Venn diagram for each of these statements. See, if there is a sum question, you have to draw overlapping Venn diagram. If it is a no question, then you have to draw two separate Venn diagrams. So it is very necessary, because if you draw the Venn diagram wrong and you draw conclusions later on, your answers will go wrong, because if A and B touches in your Venn diagram, you will assume the sum element in that. So Venn diagram should be correct. Try to find out the pattern of the question. Understand how to analyze the conclusion for each statement. The key point you should remember is that you have to attempt the question in a sequential manner. Don't jump here and there. Okay? So you have to follow a pattern. If first it is telling you all A are B, you have to first synchronize, use that information, then move to the next statement. Okay, so that's all for follow-ups. Now I'll discuss with you seating arrangements. The questions on seating arrangements are a regular feature. They are also asked, and these questions usually come in a block of 4 or 5 questions. Okay, so if you solve one problem, seating arrangement, which generally takes time because there is a lot of information which you have to process. So when you solve one question, you also can, get score 4 or 5 marks if that solution which you did was correct, because these questions are generally in blocks. What you have to do in questions is you have to arrange a group of persons fulfilling certain conditions, how they are sitting or how they are looking. So you have to generally arrange a group of people. So these problems can be classified into 4 types which are generally asked. One is linear arrangement, second is double row arrangement, third is circular arrangement, fourth is rectangular arrangement. Okay, so the first one, linear arrangement. Here the arrangement of person is linear, that is you have to arrange them in a line. Okay, here generally a single row of arrangement is formed. So people are sitting in a row. Now you have to pay attention, they are looking north, they are looking south, because that will decide your left and right. Then there is double row arrangement. In these questions there will be 2 groups of persons. So one will be sitting in front of the other. You have to arrange one group in one row and the other group in the other row. The person in these rows normally face each other. Then the third arrangement is circular arrangement. In the circular seating arrangement, questions you have to arrange the person around the circular table. Yes? So you have to fulfill conditions, who is sitting next to whom, who is sitting in the right of whom, who is sitting in the left of whom. So this is circular arrangement. The fourth type is rectangular arrangement. Rectangular arrangement is similar to circular arrangement. The difference is that the table is different. The table is now not circular, it is rectangular. Okay, so now we move on to tricks or tips for seating arrangement questions. So in these questions, as I told you, that there you get a lot of information and the solution is all about processing that information correctly. Okay, so you get some direct information, you get some indirect information. Direct information is the information which is clearly mentioned in the statement of the question. This is the information which you will use when you start solving the question. So it is directly available, it is directly written. Now there is indirect information. After filling the direct information, you will look for the connection between the different parts of the information you got directly. These connections from the indirect information, these connections will form your indirect information. Now, while arranging people, it is very important to find out the direction in which they are looking, in which they are sitting. Okay, because it affects your left and right, and I told you that these questions are generally in a block of 4 and 5. So if one goes wrong, all will go wrong. So it will be a domino effect, either all correct or all wrong. Okay, so if the arrangement is, now I will tell you with example of arrangement. See, so let us take the case of linear arrangement. Here it is stated that there are 5 persons sitting facing north. Then the arrangement will be left to right because people are facing north. If it says that there are 5 people sitting facing south, so your right and left will be different this time, and who is sitting at whose right and who is sitting at whose left will also differ. So you have to pay heed to the direction in which they are sitting. Same applies to the circular or rectangular seating as well. They are looking towards the center or they are looking away from the center. In case of circular arrangements, if the person is facing towards the center, his right hand side will be anti-clockwise, and if he is looking away from the center, his right hand side will be clockwise. See, I have shown this Venn diagram to you where you can see when they are looking towards the center, right is anti-clockwise and left is clockwise. When they are looking away from the center, right is clockwise and left is anti-clockwise. So you have to pay attention to these things. During exams, we are under a lot of pressure. So if we skip these minute details, we are going to lose all the 4-5 marks, which will invest our time to find out who's sitting where, and this little detail can get your answers wrong. So please pay attention to the direction. Now here is a question. I will discuss with you this question to make you understand how we go about these questions. So there are 8 friends Q, R, S, T, V, W, Y and Z. They are sitting around a circular table facing the center, not necessarily in the same order. It means they are not sitting in the order of Q, R, S, T, rather they are sitting in some different order. So there are 3 males and 5 females in the group. Okay, so there are 3 males and there are 5 females. No 2 males are immediate neighbors of each other. Now this is the information which question is giving us. 3 males, 5 females. Okay, no 2 males are the immediate neighbors of each other. Now let's see further information which we get. V sits second to the right of his wife. V sits second to the right of his wife. He don't know who is his wife, but he sits right of his wife. S sits third of the right of V. So S and V, there will be a gap of 3 in the right hand side. W sits second to the right of her husband Z. Z is not an immediate neighbor of V's wife. So V's wife, wherever she is located, Z is not near her. So he or she, whoever Z is not the neighbor of V's wife. T is a male and Y is not an immediate neighbor of V. So T is a male and Y is not an immediate neighbor of V. R sits second to the right of Q. Okay. This is a lot of information. We will solve it step by step. Okay. Now let's go for first 2 conditions. V sits second to the right of his wife. S sits third to the right of V. We see that it is a circular table and they are facing the center. That means the right is anti-clockwise and left is clockwise. Okay, so let's process this information. Okay, so there is a diagram you see. first two conditions give this probability, that is V sits second to the right of his wife, we don't know who the wife is, but S sits third to the right of V. So this is the arrangement. W sits second to the right of her husband. Z is not an immediate neighbor of V's wife. So here we process two other information and we get this chart, that is W is sitting away, is sitting right of her husband Z. So now we know W and Z. W is a female and Z is a male. So this information is indirect information which you have to process. If Z is the husband, so he has to be male. V is also a male. So V and Z will not sit together. So this is the information which is indirectly available and we have to keep collecting. So when we process this, we get three positions for Z. Okay, so one position of Z is between V's wife and S. The other is between W, V and Z all are located. Now there are three diagrams. Three probable positions of Z, but first in these cases, first and third are not possible because we can't place W. By applying the information we have, W sits second to the right of her husband Z. So if we do this, these two if we take, we cannot apply the other conditions. Yes? So we read ahead, we move ahead with the information we have collected. See, V and Z can be placed together since both are male, yes, and this violates the constraint of question. So we proceed with second arrangement where V and Z are not near and W is in the position she should be. Now fifth condition, which is P is male and Y is not an immediate neighbor of V. We read this, we process this. Now P being a male can be placed adjacent to V and hence only one place is left for P to be placed. Also Y is not an immediate neighbor of V. So Y will be placed at V's wife's place. Okay, so Y will be V's wife's place. That means Y is V's wife. Q and R can be placed as per the sixth condition, that is R sits second to the right of Q. So now we know the position of each and every person sitting around this round table. So the final position shall be like this. So once you get the final positions, let's recheck whether it fulfills all the conditions which are given in the question or not. V sits second to the right of his wife. Yes. See, Y and V. S sits third to the right of V. Yes. W sits second to the right of her husband Z. Yes. Z is not an immediate neighbor of V's wife. That is also true. T is a male and Y is not an immediate neighbor of V. Yes. R sits second to the right of Q. Yes. So all this information matches. That means we have made a correct seating. If any of your seating or position will be wrong, then this will not apply. All the conditions given in question will not be fulfilled, and so you know that you have to work on more. Okay, so now I'll give you some general tips to solve these questions. Keep following these things, and practice is obviously necessary. So your general tips will be: do not be intimidated by the size or the language of the question. These questions are usually lengthy because you are getting a lot of information and you have to process this information. The more the information, the easier the solution will be for you. So it is good that you get more information, so you should not be afraid of this information and don't be intimidated. Second is read the question very carefully. Very carefully, I emphasize on this point because every detail required to form the seating arrangement is mentioned in the question. You just need to observe properly and implement all the facts logically. Remember, even when combined with puzzles, the approach of the question will still remain the same as that of normal seating arrangement. Yes? So you should consider and read properly and just with open mind, nothing else. Consider all the possible scenarios. If I say V is not next to Y, then we can be anywhere else, just not next to Y. Yes? So you have to consider all the scenarios. A lot of possibilities will cancel out as you move forward with the information in question. So you have to start with all the possibilities and move ahead, cancelling possibilities one by one, and then you will reach your final answer. Practice, practice and practice. Practice, that is the only way you can expect to ace this topic. So obviously practice is very necessary. Okay. So this was things about seating arrangements. See you in the next video. That's all for the day. Thank you. Stay safe and work hard.